a whole different kind of worm, so we're not gonna do him because he's a lot different. Let's do a Base Vegeta. Okay, let's do Base Vegeta. Let's do Base Vegeta with Kid Buu and Super Saiyan Goku. This is a good team to do. It's a good thing to do. Do this. Okay, so I don't have any. I don't have any recent gameplay against this team, but I'll talk you through what kind of stuff you would do, right? Alarm name, LCQ, sign up. Okay, cool. Right. So, okay, so for the first thing you want to do is find out what is overhead and what are lows. Are there any overheads that look weird or anything? That's the first thing you want to do. That's the first thing I'd do after playing a game or something. So you do guard all or guard first only, it doesn't matter. But for now we'll do guard all and then don't switch, right? So this means he'll get hit by overheads and all that shit, right? Alright, if he can cross you up after something like that. If you can confirm from it. Can you do a 2L? Or 5L rather. So you can, right? So that's this. You want to check what does the Base Vegeta has that's strong that he'd want to do, right? To open you up. If you're talking about opening you up and like being comfortable with the block strings, right? So then you experiment a bit on block. Try and see what everything looks like. If they hit you with a certain mix-up a lot, so if they did this a lot, you want to see, is there actually any landing recovery? What can he actually do once he's in the air? Can he air dash? What time can he air dash? Is the low, is there landing recovery? It looks like there's a little bit of landing recovery there. So I shouldn't need to be getting hit by the low. That kind of stuff. Is there landing recovery on this one? That's what you check. Looks like there's less landing recovery on this one. So this is the one you'd want to look out for on block, right? So then you check, okay, cool. So this is a good way for him to get a mix-up, because he can air dash after as well. Let me get it right. So he can air dash after as well. So is it a true string? Put it on guard all or guard first only. Put it on guard first only. If you put it on guard all, you want to put counter attack to reflect, right? So I'll show you now the difference. So guard all. So he's gonna reflect that, and then guard first only. And no reaction. He's gonna do. He's just gonna get hit, right? So that'll tell you that. Okay, so there's that, right? So now you know. Okay, cool. So you look at all his special moves as well. Sorry. So he's got this. He's got this. Doesn't grab crouches. This is command grab, off the ground grab. He's got this. He bounces in the air. Is he close enough for a 2M? He's not mid screen. Okay. So mid-screen, now you know after he hits you with this, there's no real threat of a low. So you should never get hit low here. That's what you should know. Yeah? Unless you're like on the immense pressure, you've now learned there's no need to get hit by the low there. So you pretty much always stand block, and then you can do whatever, right? So you look at his next special, medium special. Okay, cool. So he goes cross up. So I need to remember to turn the other way. I also need to remember that when he crosses me up, I'm not holding. Oops, right. When he crosses me up, I'm not holding the assist button and I fuck up my input and do a fucking guard cancel. I can't remember how to get it right, but it happens and it's fucking annoying. So yeah, just be careful of that. Okay, cool. So that he's got that. Can't reach you there. He can reach you there with a little bit of a micro. Oh, a little bit of a micro or super jump ID actually. You can actually go cross up as well. Oh, if I can get it right. But this is only if he hits you with this kind of shit. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to get, but he can do a cross up there. Especially if it's like a Goku assist. He can do like, fuck. Like that. See, because it pushes you that way. See that? So yeah, you need to be careful of that. Etc, etc. And then you look at the heavy one. Okay, cool, it crosses up. Now I know that. So now I know what kind of stuff to look for when he has meter. When he wants to like do some dumb shit in neutral or whatever. Like, so you get an idea of what his tools do, and you find out that this is an overhead, this right here is an overhead, and there's 3 of them, right? And it's omnidirectional. It will chase you. So then you find out, okay, so that's an overhead. Can I 2H this in block strings? Okay, cool. So I can 2H it in block strings, right? Then you want to look at the startup of it. Cool. So it's 27 frames. So that means that my 2H and vulnerability, for it to kick in, I need to do it on the 23rd frame. So 23 frames. Not too hard to react to. It's possible, considering none of his other moves really look like it, barring maybe this because of the flash, and with this one, you shouldn't really be getting to look. You shouldn't get hit by it. And if you know when he wants to kind of do it, so there's 3 main times when someone want to do it, right? First one is after a scramble, after someone's like so after Base Vegeta has established a scramble. So he's won the scramble and he's got you on a block string, right? That's the first time. Second one is when you're about to die, like off for any hit. If he just does this into this and you're about to die, he probably want to do it. And then the next one is when he's about to die and he wants to swap his character out and just quickly DHC into level 3 from his other character, or level 1, level 3, right? So when you know there's those 3 scenarios that he'd want to do it, it's easy to react to. So you just keep that in mind, right? You also want to check if you can 2H this one off of a block string. Okay, so you see that it didn't actually, so if you look at this one closely, hang on, let me do it again. Look at that closely. See on the left there, it says anti-air, smash, counter, right? So what does that mean? That means that this move is head involved. This move has head property, right? Next one, so and then we look at this one, you see it only says smash and counter hit. So what does that mean? That means that this move doesn't have a head property, right? So now you know this move doesn't have a head property. So although you can 2H it, you're actually interrupting it. You're not anti-airing it, right? Whereas if you look at this one, let me go and spark it for this. How should I do this? Okay, this will be easier. Yeah, this will be easier. Okay. Let me make him delay 2H. Fuck it, it'll be easier. So delay 2H by like 8 frames. Right, so you see now, I did the same move, but I did it in the air. This is anti-air, smash and counter. So that means that the air one is... Dude, yeah, no. I know, MED. I'm showing people how to like think about stuff and then find it, if it's head involved or not, and stuff like that. Just to train how to team mode, basically. I'm teaching Nick V. So yeah, so now you'd see, okay, cool. I can anti it if he does it in the air. So but I can't do it if he does it on the ground, so I can interrupt it. So then you take your time to find out what you can interrupt it with, blah blah blah. That's your own stuff. That's for you to do, right? Okay, cool. So now you know he's probably gonna want to mix up with this. Probably want to do this, one of these two, right? It's gonna do one of those two in the mid screen and in the corner. So then you want to find out, okay, the important thing on mix-ups is if they can reflect the low. If they can reflect the low, the mix-up gets significantly weaker. If they can reflect the high, it generally doesn't matter as much. And it's pretty rare that someone can reflect the high but not the low, right? So then you want to see, okay, cool. Are his block strings true block strings the whole way through? Right? So I've got the bot on guard first only. And for now, we'll just make him reflect, right? Okay, so that wasn't a true string. Oh, I didn't do the 2M there. Okay, that wasn't a true string either. I messed that one up. That should be a true string. Okay, cool. That was a true string. So if he does that, I have to respect the low. Oh, I messed that up. And you want to try and do an IAD, see if you can actually IAD there. Okay, cool. Can't seem to IAD there. I'm not saying reflect every IAD, because if you can block it, it's it's still kind of a guess, right? There's still not really a need to reflect there. Now the process will be kind of slow because again you don't play these characters, so getting used to the timing on for the specials. Yo, Dobbs was good. Getting used to the timing on the specials and stuff on block will take like a little bit of time, but you just want to make sure you can get everything tight to just on a practice mode level, right? Another thing to look at is real quick. So frame advantage. Let me make him not reflect. So frame advantage. So this is -9. This is -5. But obviously I'm in the air and shit, right? So I can do whatever. So the best you can make this is +21. And I don't think any IDGH is +21. We'll see. Yeah, it's not true string. A pad. Ugh. Right, so you're gonna get the idea. Obviously, if the character's taller, then it will change. But yeah. Then you want to check the easy one, right? Because this one is less minus on block. So you check this. Messed up. Was that true string? Okay. Huh, okay. That's actually pretty nice. So you want to check if this is a true string as well. But yeah, I don't actually think it is. Is this true? Can you get this true string? Maybe the JH. Maybe not. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. Then you check the low. Okay, not true string, so you can reflect there. Maybe you can even jump out, something for you to test. And you generally just want to do this with as many special moves you can. Then you want to practice, maybe make sure you can avoid that, because obviously this is gapless. This has a gap, but it's really strong post, after the fact. So after this, it's really strong, right? That's really, really strong. So you want to make sure you can try and reflect this on reaction. So what you would do is set up a couple recordings. I'll just do like 3 recordings. So you do something like that. Second one might be something like, oh, messed up. No. So it'll be something like this. It's on Godel. It is on Godel. That's why. Okay. Like that. And then the third one, to make sure you're not just reflecting when you feel like it, would be something at the same time as you do. So in this one, you saw that you did like I did this string. So after 5H, I did the gap, right? So on one of the block strings, you want to make sure. Want to make sure he does that, so that if you're reflecting, you'll reflect the whiff. So this will teach you, right? This will enable you to practice trying to react to this special, so that you can avoid the 50-50 after, right? This is actually really strong. It's actually really strong. Is there a way to make this? Oh yeah, because that's an overhead, right? So let me make it switch. Fuck. That's pretty good. Is it double overhead as well? Oops. Ooh, that's kind of sick. That's kind of busted. This is Kid Buu type shit. But anyway, yeah, so there's that. Oh, another thing that's really important is, can he double overhead your characters? Can he actually double overhead your characters? So Base Vegeta can on Goku from a crouching position. This is actually really important that not a lot of people know about. Can he actually double overhead your characters? So, oh shit. Go on, Base Vegeta. So Base Vegeta can actually do it on Kid Buu. So you can obviously do it on most other characters. I don't think you can do it on GT Goku though. So that's something to think about. If you can actually, from a crouching position, if you stand at the right time, can you double over the characters? Obviously, you can get around this by doing a JH, because JH I think will hit before the first JL hits here. So if you don't stand up early enough, although you'll avoid the double overhead, you actually get hit by the JH. So there's that. So that's enough something to check if your character will actually get double overheaded by another character. And then that is basically how you look at stuff. Base Vegeta can JL JT Goku. That's crazy. So yeah, that's from a crouching position though. Crouching position is important. Yo, C4 was good. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff you want to look for. The next thing you want to look for is where can you guard cancel, right? Where can you guard cancel? So let's have a look at this. I've done a video on this before. No one fucking watched it. Cool, whatever. Right? Done a video on this before. Let's do it mid-screen. Let's do it mid-screen, right? So JH oh, messed up. Is it on guard first only? Yes it is. Okay. Fuck. I messed up again. Boom. That's the first one. Messed up. Oh, messed up again. Oh. There we go. Right. So there's two strings there. Both fucking what's it called? Both fucking that's a mix up. It's a 50-50, right? Cool, whatever. So you want to see, okay, cool. Where the can I get out of this shit? Because I don't want to take this shit. Are you on the 5H? Say less. I can guard cancel on 5H. Say no more. So when you recognize the setup, you can even maybe do it a bit later. Oh, you recognize this Kid Buu assist? Cool, I'm out of there. But obviously, if you're trying to look for Kid Buu assist and react to Kid Buu assist, you'll be susceptible to him doing something like this, right? Oh, I messed up. You're letting him, you gotta let him be open. Or you gotta be open to letting him do that if you're more worried about taking avoiding the 50-50, right? Then he can maybe reset you with like cross-ups and stuff. So you've got to look out for that, right? That's what you're letting yourself be open to if you're looking to avoid a 50-50 by using guard cancel, right? So that's how you got to think about how you want to structure your defense against certain characters and whether or not you want to risk the guard cancel. Because obviously, man like Vegeta can still just fucking... You know what I'm saying? But obviously, if he does this and he waits for your guard cancel... Oh, no guard cancel? Okay, cool. You're out. You can reflect the Buu assist. Cool. See what I'm saying? You're out. So this is the RPS. You got to find out where these situations occur against which characters and how you want to deal with them, and whether it's worth taking the 50-50 and just risking it because your character has like 2k HP, they'll die from 2H if you get sneezed on, or if you want to be like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna hold this shit and I'm gonna guess and I'm gonna see how it fucking goes, right? So this is how you lab, or this is how I lab how to, what's it called? How I want to, how to defend against stuff. There's obviously way more than this that I do. This is pretty much just the surface. There's way more stuff that I do. Obviously, then you got to think about neutral and stuff, and how you want to avoid holding stuff in neutral, etc., etc. But this is the basis. And I did it with Base Vegeta. He's not an easy character, not too technical, but there's a lot of stuff to think about with the Base Vegeta. Now you can apply this with Kid Buu, and then just test, what is actually an overhead, what isn't an overhead, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you see there, fucking Vegeta was blocking the second one low, right? So you see it's crouching now, right? So you need to be able to, what's it called? just be able to find the answers through just training. And it's going to take a while. It's not a fucking 5-minute thing. It takes a long time. Like labbing a character and defending against them, if it's a brand new character you've never labbed before, like in depth to defend against, because you're finding out the strings, finding out frame data, finding out what moves you can do to poke. For me, it would probably, for the first time, probably take an hour. That includes practicing with them. You don't need to do combos. You don't need to learn combos. But you lab block strings, you lab pressure, you lab assist usages in pressure, and then you practice against it and defending it, where you can reflect, where etc etc. For you, first you got to learn the character's basics first, and then you can start blocking. Yes, basically, you need to know what the character likes to do before you can actually block it. Because if you don't know what the character does, how are you gonna? You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna do anything against it? Yeah, you need to learn what's safe, what's unsafe, where they might be more inclined to risk it. Then you think about stuff, right? So like I said earlier about the guard cancel thing, you start to think, okay, when might they want to try and have I been guard cancelling a lot? Would they want to bait it? Stuff like that, etc, etc. We can play some games, Adrian. Just mash if you got hit or well. Alright. Say less. I'll also lab anything that looks interesting in Tawny. Yeah, pretty much. Once you get past this, so once you like start being more competitive, you'll start seeing stuff, not necessarily you're playing against, but if you think about it, if you're going to play in tournament, right, you need to be able to be ready for almost everything. Some things, you know, it's going to hit you and it's going to be random. Not random, but it's going to be like new, you're never going to see it before, right? But you need to be able to cover as many bases as possible. So when you see something strong, for example, a Kid Buu block string or an Adult Gohan block string or a Bardock block string, you want to see, okay, cool, is there a way out of this? If I see this setup and I hold it once, will I be able to, do I know something and I'll be able to, you know, counter it next time? Obviously, you can't do that for every single setup, but you want to try and have as much knowledge as possible without overloading yourself. So just take it one step at a time. You don't have to fucking do everything, every character immediately, but you want to know, you know, where are they resetting pressure on you, where you can poke out and stuff like that, etc, etc. Yeah, I'm here. But yeah, that's the main gist of it. And then after that, you start looking at neutral stuff. So like EX Ball, JS. Did I answer your question? Have you thought about... Yeah, so then you look at OSs and stuff, Nick. On like neutral and shit. Have you thought about